What would be your song choice? What would be your intro? I'm thinking Rocky song like Eye of the Tiger. That'd get me going. Creed. Did you watch the Creed movie with I think it was Creed 2? Basically the US versus the Russians. It would be a good timely movie right now. Jennifer, good to see you.
Thanks. How are you?
Doing awesome. Blessed. Every day is a blessing. See some new faces. Good to see your face on here, Chris.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Good
I'm
morning
with
to
you
you.
on Rocky. I'm with you on Rocky, The Burning Heart, something like that. I still run to that.
Oh man, yeah. And I mean, I love the training scenes too. I mean, I'm a little bit of a fitness buff myself, so it always pumps me up when he's just hammering the tire or the ground and he's running after the car.
Yeah, you
Maybe
remember
just
the scene in Rocky 4 where he's going through the snow and Ivan Drago is in the indoor track?
yes.
Yeah, I totally go there in my head when I'm running. Sometimes I'm like boxing the air and
Oh yeah,
running through
100%.
snow. It's 100 degrees outside, but I'm running through snow.
You got to go there. That's sometimes you got to get to that place to push it to that next level.
Right.
Travis, good to see you.
It's very good to be on the call. Hope everybody's doing well today. I was just in the middle trying to shoot a bomb to someone who requested their home value. So
Good for you.
that's why I'm a little bit late. Still trying to fool with all this new technology.
Well, lucky you have some bomb experts on this
Absolutely.
mastermind. You're going to look at one, Jennifer Salter, notoriously known for that 90% open in video play, right? Is it still up there, Jennifer?
Well, talking about Bomb, I'm interesting you brought that up. They've been giving it to me for free for like 4 months because the tracking stopped working. It's a bug they can't fix. So anything sent from Gmail, they can no longer track it. Does
Interesting,
anyone
really.
else experience? Yes, and it's been going on for probably 6 months. So the last 4 months, they've given me Bomb for free because they just can't figure it out. It's a bug that they don't know how to track because they can't see it on their end. They're just hearing all these customers complain about them having no tracking. So I don't know if anyone else is dealing with that or if it's just me.
Well, I'm sending them out. I'm sending them out through Gmail, and I do get a notification. But in terms of tracking, what do you mean by that? Help me out.
Well, there's a Gmail, a Chrome extension.
Yep,
So once
that's
you
what
have
I'm
the
using.
Chrome extension, you should
Yes,
see when it's open. So you'll see
that's
it sent.
yes.
Yours
I
work?
see it. It gives me a notification that says so and so open up the email.
Well, freaking fantastic, Travis. Thanks for sharing that with me. It's driving me batty
Mine
because
works too.
uh,
So I would say I would uninstall everything. Maybe even uninstall Chrome and then reinstall it. I don't know because Chrome has their
yeah.
own. That's the way I would go. I would uninstall everything and then reinstall it and to go from there.
So to answer your questions, anything I want track, I'm sending through Gmail. But yeah, I got to tell you something else. I made a really cool presentation, and through BombBomb, I recorded and presented it. But I'm doing a buyer presentation that I made in Canva, and I'm presenting actually over it, and then I'm shooting it out through BombBomb so I can track it. Really cool. I can share it with you guys because their presentations are just beautiful. So I've redone my entire buyer presentation, and what I'm doing is for people who are setting up phone calls with me, I'm sending it out before we schedule a Zoom call so that they can watch the presentation explaining who I am, what a buyer agent does, all of that good stuff.
I love it. Maybe
We,
give a few of the members a backstory because I think, and I'll help do that with you, Jennifer. Jennifer's been around for at least a few years with StreetText now,
Four
right?
years now.
Is it 4 years?
Yeah.
Wow. And we kind of made her famous because she's the one that was averaging a listing per month from StreetText. Coming from a background in teaching as a third grade teacher, correct?
Correct.
Good. I got my story right.
Yeah.
And so just a incredible educator, but I think in that process, you've kind of learned a lot of scaling and along the way, and you're kind of getting out of your, so much control of working in the business and deciding to delegate a little bit and working with
Yeah.
Janky, which is pretty cool. And then you were so much known for so long and just working seller leads, and now you're kind of moving into the buyer side. So tell us about that transition too.
I think it's because of the market. So I spoke to someone recently from StreetText having trouble with an ad. And so just a number one tip, if you're going to do any ad, especially seller ads, if you're in a big town, like I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina, that's the state capital. Well, every agent who's like a top producing agent or team, they're putting their advertising dollars right there in the city. So it would be better justice to you guys if you're in a city, rather than putting the target in the city and allowing it to be 15 miles around. What you do is you move your target maybe 10 miles out where it's a little bit of a suburb, because the 15 miles will still get the city, but then it'll still get those outside areas that are within 30-40 minute drive. And I'm telling you, you will get much more for your money because the other agents are not competing in that area. So that's number one. Number two, because the market is such low inventory, I know that a lot of times these buyers are having houses to sell. So I've been running the buyer ads for about 2 months, and I've been bringing in, basically I'm performing at $1.90 to about $2 a lead, getting those leads in every day, and a lot of them have to sell. So it's just me trying it out, but it's been working fantastic.
So Jennifer, when you get the buyer leads, when they come in initially, what's your strategy in terms of touching base? I mean, obviously they're going through the funnel.
Yeah. So
campaign,
my seller leads, I do all through StreetText. I use campaigns that I've built out. For my buyer leads, they go to a landing page for whatever it is. So if you're advertising townhomes under 300,000 with a bedroom on the first floor, whatever it is, it's going to direct them to a squeeze page, right? Well, that triggers for my KV Core, whatever your CRM is. And I have an entire campaign that goes out about 9 months. And my first touch, other than the link, the landing page, is immediately me reaching out saying that I call them and say, listen, I'm working in the office. Let me customize your search. I saw you're interested in this home in this area for this price point. Would you like to customize it? If they don't answer the phone, I never leave a voicemail. I shoot them a text. From there, if they don't answer, I immediately set them up the property alert that matches the ad. So if my ad's for townhomes with bedrooms on the first floor, when they're in my CRM, I set them up a property alert that goes out twice a week. That way I'm not bothering them too much. And then it has my follow-up emails, my system. But that's the most important thing, is setting up that property alert, because I'm all about the stats. And I just read a stat that basically said the best way to get interaction from people on your website is not from our emails. It's actually from sending them properties and them looking at them, because when they see something they like, they'll ask about it. And I do see that I'm getting a much higher open rate, and I'm seeing right on my dashboard for my CRM that they are visiting and looking at properties. So that's the key.
Gotcha. So you're sending you're not sending them out through MLS, your MLS, and through a search that way, right?
I used to, Travis, but honestly, the MLS doesn't track. So, I mean, you may know that they're opening it, but it's just easier maintained through the CRM. So I like both, but the CRM's working better.
Gotcha.
So this is my ad that I have right now going on. Johnston County, I live in Wake County. Johnston County is about 30 minutes away. The reason I put it there is because a lot of people in my area, the prices are so high, everyone's starting to spread just a little bit. And so this is still maintainable, especially for someone that's also a seller. If it's too far, I use it as a referral, and I work with a lot of referral agents, but this has been really popular. And I've gotten a lot of response and a lot of leads from it.
Look at that. So get a list of all homes, first floor, main bedroom in Johnson County sent directly to you. Here's another thing that people forget. They do not track the importance of comments and shares and social interaction, which allows your ad to continue with predictability. So it's beautiful when you do that. I'll just show you. Look at this. She's let this run for a long time now, since December, and she's averaging a full phone number, email, and name for $2 a lead.
And that's high. It started off like $1.40. So I'm watching it, but it's amazing price.
So yeah, again, smart, smart, smart. And
Hey, Jennifer,
go ahead.
what are you doing with the people I see you had one in there? They're asking you about rentals when they come through there. You get a lot of buyers that ask about rentals all the time. What are
Yeah.
you doing with those?
Well, so first of all, I ask them why they prefer to rent over buy. We have that quick conversation, and if it's credit or money or whatever it is, from there I let them know. I'm happy to help. I'll go ahead and set you up a search. When you see something you're like, let me know. I don't show rentals unless it's like a bazillion dollars that you get at the end. So what I do though, when they are interested and want to look, I know a lot of agents that are in the rental market, and I refer it out. So a lot of times I'll refer it out and I'll just do a really small percentage because, but yeah, either they're mine or I refer.
Got that, guys? So the quadrant, I was just talking about the quadrant of finding lead generation in my mind is add copy, add imagery, right? 1, 2. And then really it's the combination of effective split testing and A/B testing. So good thing that StreetText does that mostly for you. But I will tell you that you need to become more aware of the images you're putting in your ad. You have to make sure that whatever image you throw in that ad is not just some generic stock photo that looks cool. It's something that's organic and native to that particular area that people see all the time. So if it is a home, make sure it is a home that they typically see in that area. You wouldn't be throwing palm trees in North California, right? Or a certain type of architectural home. And so what I see too, a lot of people mistakenly, like I saw a thread in the insider group about the seller ad, it's not working for them. And I often find the problem with that is what's your home really worth, enter your address, receive your home value. You also got to also think about the market you're in, this seasonality of what's happening right now at the moment too, and maybe you need to shift because you really want seller leads so bad, but maybe the buyer ad is way faster to get that seller at the moment because no one's going to put their home on the market if they don't have a place to go. Number one. But number two, you need to start thinking about A/B testing that what's your home really worth funnel with different images. Not just the map all the time, right? The map. And Lynea Carver's really good at doing that because it's a combination of effective split testing and A/B testing out of that funnel, which allows you to put your own images in there. So that's where you really need to become more proficient in. And maybe some of you are turning them off too fast too. Because relevancy and algorithm has shifted a little bit where it used to be able like immediate results. Sometimes you have to wait that 48 to 72 hour period and maybe you're just shutting it down too fast. So that'd be a couple recommendations on that. And you can kind of get educated over and over again in that ad performance review workshop. But I would say if you're really having a problem with that seller ad, shift into putting on that buyer ad and watch the leads flow. Just like you're seeing with Jennifer. And I think you're probably finding, Jennifer, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a lot of people that have a home or an asset to sell.
Absolutely.
There.
Absolutely.
So where does that conversation come in? Let's just, are you picking up the phone a little bit more these days? Or are you just doing we've had some really good conversations on this recently in the last masterminds about simply just picking up the phone now, speed to lead being important, but also having something to say. So, and overcoming objections. And I know, we had a great call with Janky and LCA about that yesterday. What's been your follow-up with those leads?
So number one, I told you I was working with an ISA who eventually couldn't do what I needed them to do. So I'm still kind of in limbo. But so I was doing a lot with the script training. I use LP Mama. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm happy to kind of talk to you about it. But LP Mama is the script and it can come off really natural. But when I call, it's just really quick. And I immediately match their tonality because if you find someone who's already seems down, I kind of just slow myself down and I'm real casual, hey, this is Jennifer with eXp Realty. Just wanted to reach out because I saw you were interested in homes in Johnston County. I'm in the office and wanted to see if you wanted me to customize your search. And either they say yes or no, or I'm just looking. And then from there, we can kind of add on that conversation about, the location and price and motivation. if they're working with an agent, if they have a house to sell, but I kind of match their mood. So if they're in a hurry, I'm not going to rush through to get everything. I'm going to let them know that, you know, I'm here when they're ready, and then follow up with a text. So I think that's important, is just kind of matching their vibe, I guess.
Yes. We talked yesterday about the importance of role play.
Yeah.
And because a lot of people just simply, and I know you all are guilty of it, just pick up the phone and kind of just go with it. But the way I look at it is, if I liken it, you know, I'm a big football fan. I liken it to like the football players in the NFL. All that practice makes it to where when they get in their game, it's just flow at that point. They're not even thinking about it. It's intuition. It's just like they react. They don't even have to think about it. They're just in their game. Similarly, I like to think that that's what role play is important for, because you have those scripts not so you can read them out loud and eventually train people to do the same if you're using ISAs, but so that they know that so well that when they get on the phone, they already know where they're going to go, and they can match that tonality and that personality, and just it comes out natural. I think we all talked about, no one likes to hear a script. And a lot of people know right away if you are scripted. Is that right? Rhonda, I think you're on. I don't know if you're muted or not. Elmer, go ahead and ask a question.
Hey guys, how's everybody doing? Hey Jennifer, just a quick question, since you seem to be the expert here when it comes to the lead follow-up.
Sure.
How quick or whenever you get a lead, do you call them? Do you wait? Do you call them right immediately? Do you wait a few hours, or how do you go about that follow-up? That was my main question.
So if I can, I do, but you know, we all have lives and stuff. For me personally, I really like starting to make phone calls in the afternoon. So I make phone calls every day except Sunday. On Saturdays, I really find that, you know, balance between about 10 to 2, and then I'm done. But so what's important, and by the way, Marcus, I figured it out. I know I was asking you guys about, there is a way in your CRM, if you have a way to set up property alerts, okay? You know, like when people come in and certain campaigns trigger certain property alerts to automatically go out. Well, there is a way through Zapier that you can set up certain ads that come from StreetText to immediately start a property alert on your CRM, meaning the work is being done for you and the campaign is started. So that way, if you can't call them right away, they're getting things that they want to look at. But I try to call every day. I try to put a few hours, but let's be honest. I mean, some days, like yesterday, I didn't get home till 9:30 at night. I didn't make phone calls, but I know my campaigns are working for me. I know my property alerts are set. I have Julie through StreetText that can kind of reach out for me. So I try. It's always best to get them right when they come in. If I see someone come right in, I'll give them about 10 minutes and then call.
Okay, got it. So you give them about that 10. If not, if you're busy, you'll just leave it for the afternoon and say, hey, I saw you requested I saw that you wanted a list of properties in Richmond, Texas. You know, just want to see if I can define the list a little bit more for you. Can I help you with anything? And go from there.
Yeah, and you know something that I've started to do, and I think this has helped a lot actually, and I didn't realize this was a problem until I watched someone who really was an expert making phone calls talk about the psychology of what we say. I used to call and say, sorry to bother you, but, and when you say that, you never apologize, because what you're saying is, I'm sorry, I'm bothering you. And you don't do that because you're offering them a service. You're providing value to them. So never say sorry to bother you, because then they immediately get defensive. Oh, are you bothering me? So don't ever do that. And that's been actually the biggest change for me on phone calls.
Oh,
is
wow.
I just kind of go right into it.
Right. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Susie, I use KB Core through EXP.
Yeah, so I had someone ask, you know, what particular ad show it, and then exactly what script. And I think I find a lot of people looking for those scripts or what to say right off the ad, but there's no one way. So what would you say, Jennifer, to anybody, like particularly, how does your approach is different from the home value ads versus any one of those buyer ads?
Yeah, I use
has it evolved?
I use LP Mama. I've tried to look at other scripts and stuff, and They don't make sense to me. And LP Mama can flow in any way and go in any order. I have videos on it, and I also explain LP Mama, but just so you guys know, LP Mama means that on a phone call, you want to verify the location and price, that's L and P, that they're kind of looking in. M, their motivation. Sometimes I get to that on a call, sometimes I don't, but you know, what's making you want to move? Is it a job? Is it whatever? A, you have to just make sure they're not working with another agent. M is for mortgage. Have you had a chance to get pre-qualified? Would you like me to recommend a few of my trusted lenders that I've used personally and recommended for clients? And then the last one is, hold on.
Location, price, motivation, ask, or mortgage.
Yeah, what's the last one? Oh, set the important thing. Set the appointment. Set the appointment.
I like that, LP Mama.
Yeah, LP Mama. And you can look this up, guys. There's really helpful visuals, and I can show you how any conversation you can fit in LP Mama, but that it's simple and it can flow your own way. You don't need to write anything out.
Hey, Gabrielle, if you're here, unmute yourself there, buddy. What do you mean by Google Universal Callback Script?
It's a script that I really like. It's pretty simple, has great questions. It's originally from Craig Proctor, which he's like a pretty big real estate coach. So, and you could find it super easy. Just Google Universal Callback Script. It'll give you a quick buyer and seller approach. And it gives you like if they're not going to do anything right now, like a later lead. So it's a great, simple for beginners, for people who don't know what to say.
Awesome. Gabrielle, while we have you on here, there is probably a lot of people that are just wondering what to say when they pick up the phone, whether it's a seller lead or a buyer lead. Where would you say is the best place to start practicing that to become, so it does work and flow?
You mean like role playing?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously you guys should all be on my role play sessions. Like we had a killer one today where we practiced calling your sphere of influence, because that's as simple as it is. Many people have such a hard time calling people they already know. And if you have StreetText, your database is growing dramatically, and you should be connecting with everybody that StreetText is bringing to you, not just, to get the appointment and get the now lead, but to keep in touch with them, to build your database, right? Like if you don't have a big database, you gotta keep working with StreetText, getting the leads, putting them into your database, into the system, following up with them. So if you don't want to join the role play sessions, here's what I recommend you guys do. Find a script. They're all good, I promise. Okay. It's not what script, it's the fact that you master the script. And I know people right now are like checking out already mentally. I'm not going to practice a script. I don't want to sound like a robot. Well, you're not, because you're going to practice. When you practice, all you're doing is conditioning your language pattern. You're not saying something that you don't want to say, right? You're simply just reconditioning the language pattern. You're learning great questions. You're learning how to drive a conversation in the direction you want, right? So find a script that is like, if you Google Tom Ferry's What You Say Matters, that's the name of the book. You could find a PDF version online. Like you used to be able to find the Mike Ferry ones, but Mike Ferry's like really good about blocking them. So if you could find some Mike Ferry scripts, those are my favorite personally. Why? Because they're very simple and to the point, right? If you use them verbatim, you can come off like you're just interrogating. But the reason I like them is because when you practice and master them, you could make them your own. You could, think of it like a skeleton, and then everything else is you. You make it your own. But it's the simple fact that you have to practice to get better. And like Marcus said earlier, practice hard, so that when you go talk to people, you naturally tone it down and it just flows out of you. So here's what I tell people do. First of all, find your script. If you need help, let me know. If you want to create one for yourself, let me know, because you can create one yourself too. Read your script out loud, right? Every day for 15, 30 minutes, read it out loud, stand up, walk around, pace around. read it fast. This is how you practice the script. Read it fast. Why? You're focused. You're on fire. Your energy. You're creating an anchor between your nervous system and what you're saying. Your body remembers it. So when you get triggered by a lead, whether it's a StreetText lead or on, door knocking or in Starbucks in line, your body goes into that mode. And your body remembers, oh yeah, we're on. Hey, showtime. Hey, my name's Gabriel with Century 21. You go right into it. It's natural. You will naturally tone it down a little bit, but practice hard. Read your scripts fast, read them out loud, walk around. I even go as far as saying, put music on, turn the TV on, both. Why? Because when there's distraction around you, you become laser focused on what you're reading and what you're internalizing, and it forces. So when I have a group of people, it's been a long time, but when I would have lots of people, like I've had up to 40 people in a room practicing scripts, and it was chaos. It was insanity. And I would put techno music on, and I would play on the screens like racing and sports and this and that. Why? Because if you cannot master being focused, laser focused, you're always going to be distracted. I would even go up to people, roll up my script book, and just go up to them and be like, hey, what's going on? And the people who are new would get distracted. As time went by, people learned to be extremely focused. I could be there banging on their head, yelling in their ear, and they would just be going right down the script to the point where they don't need the book anymore. They would just kind of like internalize it and just be spitting out the script, right? Okay, so practice the script, standing up, read it out loud, read it fast. When you role play, I recommend you don't use the book. Just put it away and just do the role play. And that's how you become really good and natural at delivering what you're practicing. So I guess one good point is this: don't worry about memorizing the script. You will, but don't make that the point, right? Practice, role play, script practice, so that your language pattern, you have new questions that you're learning and mastering and naturally using when you're triggered to use them. Okay, so I hope that helps.
That helps a lot. Rochelle, go ahead and ask your question. And let me do me a favor, guys. If you're not talking, keep yourself muted, just because we hear that background noise.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought.
Yeah, no worries.
I thought somebody told me I got a thing saying to unmute myself. So okay, so I have a kind of go back to where I was at. So I'm really good with scripts. I did that for 7 years, working with Fannie Mae and what have you. I just haven't found the right one, I guess. So one of the things I wanted to ask was, when we're running the buyer ads, which I did try, I'm not sure how. Okay, so when they're requesting a CRM, it's pretty easy, no brainer. I go online, I shoot them out a CRM that starts the conversation. When I ran the buyer ads, I know I didn't give it enough time, because all I was getting was, oh, so-and-so looked at your, whatever. They gave me a little bit of information. I just don't know where to go from there. Is there more information I can find out on the lead itself? They gave me a little bit of information. I just don't know where to go from there. Is there more?
I muted that other person, so you should be able to go now.
Okay. So I was just, I guess my question was, I wasn't sure where to go with, so they looked at my thing. They didn't fill out it. I don't see, am I making myself clear? I don't know what they're looking for. They go in, it says, yeah, do you want to downsize? So they go in, they look at the ad, they fill out a little bit of information, but so where do I go with that? I've tried to reach out to them, but they're not answering, or they're not, emailing back. So I don't know what the follow-up to that is, I guess.
Who are we asking here?
Do you have a link to your single story homes or whatever you're sending through? Did you put a link in there to your website to those homes?
No, I'm just flying by the seat of my pants.
Okay, yeah,
I'm not really sure what I'm doing.
That would be a good thing to do. Number one, it drives them to your website and they can learn about you. They can watch videos, They can see houses. So always try to put a link to what they're wanting So I go
Where
onto
do you-
I go onto my website. I do single story homes like in Henderson or Las Vegas or wherever you're doing your marketing. And then you'll post that link in the funnel, correct? Or no,
Okay.
Yes, she's right. In the lead ad, there's always a place for a redirect URL.
Right.
You're setting that up.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Okay. So that's where I would put it. I think it's like the second page or something. So that's what, people are going nowhere. They're going on my ad.
So once they start looking at homes, if you have a super savvy website, you'll be able to see what they're looking at. And, oh, they're really looking at a lot of 3 and 4 bedrooms. Well, maybe I'll tighten up their search. Maybe I'll see if there's anything else they're, wanting, to adjust their criteria. Maybe a pop in and say, hey, I see you're checking out the homes that I sent you. Are you seeing anything you like? You want to go shopping? Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, okay. So that's.
It also might be a good idea if you tag these ads and set up an action plan in your CRM so they're constantly being touched throughout the process.
Okay. And can I do that in KV Core?
I would defer to KV Core users. I'm a follow-up boss person.
Me too,
Yes.
but
Oh,
Jennifer
okay.
Salter she's a KV Core girl.
Yes,
and
you
Lynea.
can go through KV Core, and I just kind of learned all the tricks. But Josh Shonley was nice enough to have one of his techie guys walk me through how to set up Zapier. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's okay. It only takes a few minutes to set up. But whatever ad you're working on, it can actually go to your site in KV Core. You'll see the person, you'll see that they came from StreetText, and they're automatically set up with an entire campaign that you've built. And also they're set up with property alerts. So they always have something going out to them that matches the ad that you've put out on StreetText.
Oh my goodness. I need so much. I am just going in 10 different directions. So who was it I should reach out to? Josh, what was his last name?
Well, I can show you. I don't want to continue to bother him, but he
Okay.
to have his guy give me a bomb video to help me set it up. And
awesome.
It's just been amazing. So
I am just
really
like, that would be awesome, because I know I'm spending all this money and I see all these leads coming in and I'm like, what am I supposed to do with these leads? So it's really like,
Jennifer,
perfect.
if you have a chance, just throw that in the insider community, because I'm sure there's a lot of people similarly that use KV Core that'd be like, yes, I want to know how to do this.
Yeah, I'll ask Josh if that's all cool. I'm sure it is, but it was really amazing that he helped me out and got his guy to take time away from his tech and his business to reach out and sort me out. But yes, it's very easy and I'm happy to do that.
Yes, and if you ever have questions on process or like what to do, Jennifer Salter's actually created some really awesome short videos that you've dropped along the way in the insider group. And if you just like search Jennifer Salter in the insider group, you'll get about, I think, like 3 or 4 really good short videos that walk through what you're doing. And so there's just like really, really, really good advice in those sections too.
Yeah, and on top of that, if you really want to go deep dive into everything at one place, Jennifer Salter has a Thinkific course that she's always updating as well. And she goes over all her follow-up and she changes and modifies it, all the time. So that's something to look at too. If you go to the in your dashboard and type in, or what's it's academies? What's that little section there? You'll see it pop up with all the other courses that we have to offer.
Yeah, and there's so much like incredible, there's just so many incredible things. So if you're ever wondering like what to send people or like looking for ideas, just type address only or postcards or mailers or drop-offs. Just do that and you get dozens of ideas, dozens and dozens. It's really is pretty incredible.
So when you go into your dashboard and you type it or you just click on the StreetText Academy, it'll take you right there. Okay, and so you always want to start with that free getting started guide. If you haven't touched on that, touch back on it. Okay, Troy's always updating this too, but there's some other courses there. And then what John was talking about was in the insider group to simply use the search feature on top. And what are you saying? Like if you just type in Jennifer Salter, you can find a lot of stuff that, posts you've seen, and you just start scrolling down, you see all the most popular discussions that have come from some of her shares.
Oh my gosh, thank you guys so much. I am just like, I didn't know what to do. Thank you.
Hey, Marcus, can I just say, and this is for Rochelle and everybody, and Marcus knows I'm a big systems guy. And for all you newer people that are kind of where Rochelle is, that you're being inundated with leads, but you don't know what to do with them, there's been some great advice this morning, as there is every Wednesday. But again, I'm a big systems guy, and I think it's important to have your automations, your action plans, your bombs, everything in place before you really get up and running. If you're already up and running, great. You're just going to be playing catch up all a little bit. But I think it's critical to have your automations, your action plans set up. And that way you're not floundering around. You've got a system set up.
Jeff is right. Jason, you have a question?
Yeah, actually, I'd like to thank Jennifer Salter. I haven't met you yet, but hello. I just signed up for your course last night. I've been doing this since December. I listen to you guys. All the new people are in the same boat as me. I get frustrated. I put a lot of money into the ads. I don't have a follow-up system. And Jennifer, I got to tell you, the $300 that I spent last night, so I should have done that at the very first. It's easy. It's plugged in. It looks professional. I'm so glad I did it. I'm almost done with all of them now. And I just
good.
So thank you so much.
I'm glad. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions too. But I appreciate that.
Yes, she's a badass, and she uses BombBomb video like no other.
Yeah, she's good, and she's got examples on everything. So, Rochelle,
and
that's what you want right there.
Something else that Jennifer shared on Facebook, I just saw the post. I think I saw this morning. So cool is you were talking about matching their vibe on the call, but Jennifer, you do that in real, like you do that when you're working with people too, because you said that you had a couple you were working with, and they were just getting a little bit overwhelmed, like the home prices, everything. It was just, they were looking in areas and they just weren't finding what they're looking at. And they took a two-week breather basically, and then you spotted a home and you're like, I think that's what they're looking for. It's exactly in the area and everything. And now they're doing a home inspection of that property. So that's like that's it. Like if like reason I'll like just like send, like go find Jennifer's like videos, because you always communicate that. Like one of the ones that I saw was just, I loved it, was how you said you didn't even bring a listing like signing form when you go to appointments, because you want people to know that this is a service for them. Mm-hmm. And you actually mean it. And then as a result, you would leave and people were like, okay, I want to work with Jennifer. And because when you have somebody's best interest at heart, it really, you don't even have to show up, because it just comes across with like everything you do. And that's a really key thing. So when you set up your systems, that's obviously going to help you, because now you know that your database is getting connected with, you know that you're staying in touch, you're following up, you have all those systems, but you still have to make the calls, you still have to follow up, you still, make that part of your process. And then when you get the appointment, walk in knowing that you're there to serve them, and you will walk out with not just a client, but you'll walk out with a friend. And I think that's like, it's really, really critical. And on that point, I kind of sent in on Monday's email. One of our core values as a company, we have 5 core values, and one of them is growth. And I was thinking about it, and I realized I was like, it's growth, not comfort. And sometimes, like to what Jeff said, it's not like, it's really smart and wise to set up your systems before you press go. But sometimes you are growing and you have leads coming in, and that's okay, because that's a period of growth. So now work harder, get uncomfortable, set up the systems, go above and beyond what you'd want to do for that short period of time. And then you'll get through it. You'll have all these systems running, and you'll have stretched, not just like your system, your business won't even just be better, but you'll be better. Your capacity will have grown because you'll have gotten through the other side, and you develop growth muscles while you do that. And so I just think that's such a key part of winning in life and winning in business, is see every challenge as an opportunity, and then say, okay, you know what? I'm excited for that. That's an opportunity for me to step up my game. I'm just going to push in a little bit more. I'm going to put in a little more effort. I'm going to reach out to the community, find out who's doing this, who's winning at this, and what I can learn from them, so that I can actually implement those systems into my business. And I'm not going to slow down. I'm just going to run with this. I'm going to allow this momentum to create that wave for my business, so that I can go into the next, season in a whole new way.
Good stuff.
One of the easiest, I should hate to say easiest because it's the hardest to learn, and usually the easiest things are, it's always a good problem to have leads. It's the worst problem to have none. And we have a tendency that we want it right now. So every time we jump in, I always occasionally remind people, go into StreetText to what they wrote themselves, not the other courses, about their system, and start tweaking on the platform. It's already pre-populated for a lot of things, so you don't have to come in here and start from scratch. And then as you start getting into this thing, you block out time like an appointment, work on your site. We always say you're supposed to work on your business. The platform is part of your business. You pay for a tool that you're using. And then, we have so much help in here. If you have a question, just ask. I guarantee you someone throughout the day, any time of day, whether it's night, day, weekend, whatever, will answer. But if you get so far ahead of yourself, I see people going, well, what about BombBomb? What about this? What about that? And you've skipped past the most important thing, which was the beginning. So honestly, go back, revisit on yourself, look in the StreetText platform, see what's there, and work with that. Like I said, last year, I didn't unload half my automation, but I unloaded a good part of my automation last year. Simpler got better. It worked better. I had better results. So I honestly say everybody here needs to remember, you need to start in the beginning or you're not going to get forward anywhere like you want without a real high measure of frustration.
I just have to say thank you there, Leon. That is great advice, because that's what's happening is I'm running forward too fast. I'm already in my mind, I need to learn TikTok because TikTok's the thing. I'm like, I feel like my brain's going to explode. And in the meantime, I just want to get a deal. I just need something, So it's like, it's so stressful because I think we put so much on ourselves because we need those deals to pay for all this stuff.
So even though I said don't get ahead of yourself, if you add nothing else, where are you located at, Rochelle?
I'm actually in Southern California.
Okay, so in this case, add BombBomb. You need that, but also go back and get HomeBot. You need HomeBot.
I have that.
Because I'll tell you what, if you sit here with StreetText while you build out the platform and it's tied in, I come into stuff, I look at it, I update the StreetText platform to make sure I got the addresses, the names, everything correct. I send it over to HomeBot. And at least that way I know I have one monthly automation going in addition to it. And I go into the HomeBot once or twice a day, check activity, respond activity. I'll go with most active deletes. So at least I'm getting touches in my hands on people. And like I said, you'll find that helps take a lot of workload off of you, because the person that gets nothing is going to leave you to go find someone that's giving them something.
Right.
So in this point here, if you do not have an assistant, you are one. So just, don't worry about writing a program and code and all this. We ain't got to have the matrix to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good information.
I'm going to piggyback off of that with Leon, and I talk about Lynea Carver all the time on these masterminds, because what you got to look at is the top of funnel, interruption-based marketing, digital door knocking. And if we're talking about sellers, buyers, but this, I want to go with the seller side because there's a 9-month-long drip campaign built in. What a lot of people do is they just assume they'll just leave it generic going, and that's their thing. And that's, it's better to have touch points than not have them at all. But when you really think about what you can create for the future of this funnel, it's pretty cool. What I would advise you to do, at least start with the very beginning, is read out loud to yourself that first email that goes out to those home value leads. And ask yourself, is that my personality? Is that something I would say? So start making little shifts based on how you would want that presented. And so you lead with empathy every time, because you need to acknowledge that that person thought they were getting one thing and here you are offering another. So lead with empathy, and then go into value and ask those questions. But it's so cool, and Lynea, you can speak to this if you'd like, because you did this so well, as you looked at those emails going out and you added in some of your own. You looked at them, you read through all 9 months out loud to yourself, and then you decided, because you went to an automations workshop, you learned that you could actually add in additional emails, you can add in additional text messages, you can make all these fun touch points. And over time it evolved, and you start putting in video in every single one of those with BombBomb and every single one of those automations. And then I saw you are now doing HomeBot presentations because you learn that HomeBot has a way of customizing those experiences as well with video. And that's reliant on having a sponsor, right? A mortgage side. So the idea is that this can evolve and evolve and evolve, but you got to start somewhere. You can't just arrive to where Jennifer is or arrive to where Lynea is. And that's why if you're looking for a fast track, well, there are courses out there that you can get into that will help you, or you can just try to figure it out one day at a time, and that's okay too. It's entirely up to you, but there's no one way to do it. You just got to find your way and be consistent with that way and measure it. So maybe you can speak on that a little bit, Lynea. Like, how did you kind of get to the place where you're at with those automations and even with the HomeBot experience, and how would you advise people to kind of look at that themselves?
Well, I was getting, I mean, like I hear all the time, I get tons of leads, but I don't know what to do with them. And I don't like that, because I see when that happens to me, I'm like, okay, there's a few things happening here. A, I'm wasting money. Okay. Like I'm a huge advocate for not wasting money. B, I'm huge about my brand. My brand is to leave a lasting impact on people's lives. So if my brand is out there telling people they're going to get something and I'm not following up with them, that is my brand. So for me, it was a priority to make sure that people actually got something from me. So I took a day and went through all of the funnels that were there. And Marcus had shown me a couple other examples. And I went through all the funnels that were there, and I was like, okay, what do I want people to see right away? I want them to get an immediate follow-up from me. I want them to know this is what to expect from me. This is where you're going. And then I said, from here, like, they're going to go to HomeBot. Like, this is just it. There's literally no way for me to give people a home value without actually giving them a home value. Like, I can't do it. So, and the easiest way to make that happen was to utilize HomeBot. So I said, hey, you're going to go to HomeBot. This is what you're going to get in HomeBot. And then in HomeBot, there's videos there to tell them what they got in HomeBot. And so, then I went from there, and I was like, okay, after HomeBot, this is what to expect from me. So all of my follow-up sequences in there are essentially like telling people, here's what you need to know. Here's what you should expect. And then that's what happens. And then, like with HomeBot, yes, I'm a huge advocate for HomeBot. There is so much you can do with it. If you do not harness the power of video in HomeBot, you're literally just spamming your people, just letting you know. Because people are always going to go online, and they're just like, that's what you're paying for right now. If you're doing home value ads, you're paying for people to come tell you what their home's worth, right? They're going to go to Zillow, they're going to go to Redfin, they're going to Realtor.com, they're going to go wherever they can get an online home estimate. And so if you can give them something that's got your face there and your content, then you're already one step ahead of the game. And so that's why I essentially went through StreetText, like, this is what I want people to know. And then I went and said, okay, now I've got this other tool, this other way to harness, my brand in front of people. So there we go.
Can I ask a quick question on that?
Yeah.
Can you give us an example of just like the video thing? Did not know about that. So now I'm writing that down about the HomeBot video, because I use the HomeBot, didn't know about the video part. Can you give us an example of kind of what you say in your video that you have found that works? And by the way, I'm a former carver. I'm really interested now to see if we're related. So just saying.
I don't know. There's not very, it's weird because it's actually not like that uncommon of a last name, but it's not really that common. It's not like Smith, but I do know a few other carvers. So do you want to see like a video that's in HomeBot, or like what? Like what kind of video? You're muted. Sorry, Lisa, you're muted. I can't hear you.
All right. So a video, that you use in HomeBot. So just an example of one that you don't have to see it, but just kind of say what you say that you've seen works in HomeBot, so that people know you're not spamming them.
Yeah. Okay. Let me find one.
While she's looking for that, Lisa, have you actually looked at what your videos they have in there? Because the way they're set up, you've got homeowner intro, you got intro to refinancing, new home buyer info. So you go in there and it's already got categories. And then at that point, you put your own stamp on it. But you want to make sure, I always say, you're not here to make a thriller video. You're here to keep it relatively short, so you still hold their attention span. But they've got them in there, and you can upload them. And what you do is you take your bomb to upload into there, so you can track the opens as well for activity.
Yeah. I don't know if Lynea found a video, but I send them through there all the time. And it doesn't have to be like something amazing. It could just be like, hey, just checking in and letting you know the market's changed, or scared to sell your home because you're afraid you'll be homeless. Well, this is what we do. You know what I mean? It's just little simple videos like that. And they don't think they're being spammed because it's coming through their program that they already look at 50 million times and change their loan value. Like I see them updating that. It's so funny. Like all the time.
Yeah, it's like so I do the same thing. I just send like, I can't share a screen, else I would show you.
Go ahead. I can give you a co-host so you can share.
Okay.
Yeah, even Merry Christmas or Happy New Year.
Yeah. So you can easily go into someone and I can show you how to do that. But I have all of these videos loaded in here, just like, because they have topics in here. Because what's going to happen is when someone goes into HomeBot, they're going to have like someone maybe wanting to know, thinking about buying a new home, right? So they're going to go and click on the little part on HomeBot that says buy a new home. And then in here, they're going to click on here and they've got a video. And it's like, it's 25 seconds long. Like Leon said, it's just a super short video.
Home, maybe you want a bigger office, or maybe it's just time for a different neighborhood. Thanks to low rates in your heart.
Hey, Lynea, correct me if I'm wrong, but don't you also post these videos to your Facebook page?
Not these ones, no. These are different. I do not post these videos to Facebook. But like what you can do is you can go in and like you can find a client. Like if I were to go find this person and I wanted to send them a message, all I have to do is go into his digest, and there's up here in the right-hand corner, if you have BombBomb integrated, there's this little record, and I can just easily record a video for him and just say, hey, check out, I made some updates for you. So like, I'll go in here and I'll see like people who had, clicked on something and they wanted a CMA, and I'll just be like, okay, I went ahead and updated it for you. So I'll just communicate right through here. So that's how I use it.
Yeah, that's also a good tool. Like a lot of times you'll get a notification that someone's saying, is it now the right time to sell? Yes. Or how should I get my house ready for, to sell? They like send little messages out. I think they're automatically populated and they click one or whatever. Mm-hmm. But then you just personally go and record. That way, you could either say, oh yeah, I just updated your value, based on your request and blah, 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 blah.
So,
but yeah, it's very cool.
And so correct me if I'm wrong, Lynea, that you need to have the mortgage sponsor for that option with HomeBot?
You do, yeah. You have to have a mortgage sponsor to have videos in there.
And I just got my mortgage sponsor on there. So that's why I did. Right now my brain is blown. And so I'm super excited, know what my next thing is, because I've had it for a while now, but I just got the bank to finally sponsor it. So that's freaking exciting. Just saying.
So for those that are interested in getting that option, how would you recommend an agent pursues that relationship to get that option?
Go into the group. Go into the group. They have their own, and see, they have their own masterminds. So you can go in there and either, first off, any lender you work with that you're happy with, ask them if they already have it. It's amazing how many people already have it for lenders that aren't using it. And if they don't have that, then you go into the HomeBot group and just say, hey, I need a lender in this area, and see who you get, and get 2 or 3, interview them, make sure you get a good fit. And what I've explained to the guy that sponsors me is I've got all my leads in there, and some of them have lenders assigned. So I have loyalty to them as well. And if that lead already has a lender assigned, that's where it goes first. If it doesn't work, then I give it to them. And I make that point clear up front. Also, when you're running HomeBot, a lot of your websites will tie into it. So connect that, because my buyers, when they get that monthly report, now they'll click and come straight into my website and be looking. And so the other thing, Wendy, you had me laughing because when you said this, I get people tweaking their prices, and here in Seattle, believe me, it's crazy when someone wants to bump their house up 100,000 or 200,000 over. But it's a great
people turning their value down, and I'm like,
not where I live, not where I live.
No, trust me, I could get a lot for your home right now.
So what I do though is I go into the MLS, because I always say I don't want no one to unsubscribe. It's hard to get them back. I'll go into the MLS. I'll pull up what I call a market snapshot for the area, and I send it to them. But then I send them an email explaining to them that while they're right, they're not really wrong either. And I explain the fact that the process of listing your house at market value, letting others drive it up so that the appraiser doesn't bomb on you. So I still get them to understand that while we can possibly get you that higher price, we still have to start out in the realm of reality here. And it really helps, because I did one Saturday and the guy was like, I'll get 950. There's nothing over 700 in his area. So I just, that it really leads you in well when you home bottom, I call it, to getting that listing.
Marcus, back to the question on your lender. I hounded my lender. I hounded and hounded and hounded my lender, because I have 3 lenders that I use, and he was the one that I, had the most deals with last year. I hounded him until he finally said, fine, I'll sign up for it, because he's good and he's knowledgeable and he gets stuff done. But I needed him to also, he's a little old school, so I needed him to go outside the box. So if you have a lender you like, doesn't hurt to hound him, just saying.
Love it.
I have a funny story there. I asked my lender, I haven't had that many deals yet, but it's funny. I asked him back when I first signed up for HomeBot a few months ago. Oh, he used to have it. He doesn't have it now. Well, as soon as I got HomeBot, all of a sudden he's coming to me recently because he sees, I don't know, that I'm putting stuff out there. And he's like, he knows I'm going to hit it. I'm going to eventually hit gold. And all of a sudden he's like, oh, do you still want that HomeBot? I'll sign you up. I'm like, hey, too late, buddy. I already got a lender on there. And she didn't even ask for deals. She's literally somebody through EXP and I don't know, one of our masterminds or whatever. And she's like, I'll put you on there. You don't owe me anything. And she goes, I just want to pay it forward. And I was like, that is so cool. I will totally give her deals because they will come. I know they will.
That's cool. Hey, Stephanie, you have a question.
I did. I asked in the forum, but I think Leon was the only one that responded. When you advertise your own listings, do you think it's smarter to let people land on a squeeze page on your website or just on the regular IDX page? Like, I think most IDXs let you put a little, tag at the end of your URL to make it a squeeze where they have to register to see everything. Or do you just leave it open and let them ask the questions? And what do you guys think about that?
My website is set up as a squeeze page automatically. I just throw the listing out there. If they want more information, they contact and click through, I get the notification. So it just really depends on what your site does.
I mean, I can do either. I can just let them see the IDX page with all the information, or they can see like 4 photos and they have to, give the information to
keep in mind, Stephanie, on that one there, if you're using StreetText for the property listing V1 lead ad, for anybody to be redirected to your website, they've already been captured. So if you have a secondary capture, it's not really a good look. And certainly if I was to go through that process, I wouldn't be too excited about giving my information once and then having to give it again. So if you have the option, just depending on where you're sending them from, of course, but if you're using lead ad forms to capture their information prior to sending them to your website, which is probably the setup, I would recommend not to have an additional squeeze page and simply no bait and switch, get them right to that listing, give them all the information, and then take it from there.
That makes
because
sense.
Stephanie, you can use the Zapier, like I was saying, to connect them and have them already go to your CRM. So at that point, you don't need to ask them again.
Yeah, I've got that set up. Cool, thanks.
All right, guys, coming to the end of the hour here, but I wanted to challenge you. What's the one thing that you're going to do coming out of this mastermind? Don't try to do it at all. Just one thing. And I know some of you, I know what that one thing is going to be right now. It's going to be find that lender and get HomeBot connected.
Get a HomeBot.
Go, what?
Get a HomeBot.
Go, yeah, get a HomeBot. If you're in the States, right? Not in Canada, unfortunately.
I am in the state.
Oh, perfect. And my recommendation, by the way, is don't just find that lender. Do what you just saw Lynea was doing, like especially for your video people. You can't have too many touches with video points. And then it's kind of a retargeting model for you naturally as well. And by the way, hint, hint, guess what's coming with StreetText soon? Retargeting.
Yay! Oh, wait, I'm not muted.
So we got lots on the horizon here, but that's my recommendation for you is do that one takeaway, HomeBot, find a lender, get some videos in there, and then start reading all your automations, especially within that home value 9-month automation. And just read it out loud to yourself and ask yourself, is that your personality? And if it's not, put some fun words in there. Like, Wendy would obviously use awesome and amazing. Right? And then she would finish with Go Raiders.
That's right.
Marcus, do you happen to know, if anybody else or yourself, Real Scout? What is the Real Scout?
What's Real Scout? I
I don't know what Real Scout is.
Somebody mentioned here Real Scout, so I don't know.
Maybe Real.
I like
Real
Girl Scout cookies.
I used to have Real Scout. It's a replacement for your association's listing alerts. So if your MLS sends listing alerts and it's really basic, you can get Real Scout, and it's a little bit fancier. It's not very expensive. It's not in every market either, but it's like $40 a month, I think. I had it for a while, and then our MLS made some upgrades, so I went back to MLS.
Awesome.
Thank
I
you.
want to tell you guys too, tomorrow we have an awesome event, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 p.m. It's all about branding. And Krista Mayshore, she's a incredible lady. She's going to talk about the 48 seller transaction strategy. So it's a bulletproof listing process she used to secure over 94%. And she actually texted me and corrected me. She said, it's not 94%, Marcus. It's more like 97%. So 97% of her listing leads into sellers. So it's something worth coming to tomorrow if you have the availability. And it will be recorded if you can't make it. But I dropped that registration link there for you as well. Any last minute questions? Anything we can help you with?
Yeah, how can I see this recording again? Oh, sorry, I was at the gym. Can't miss the gym.
Oh, good, man. I feel you. I can't miss the gym either. It'll be on YouTube. So it'll be uploaded. Right now it's being recorded, and then it'll be uploaded onto YouTube by the end of the day, I'm sure.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so whenever these are always go subscribe to our YouTube channel at StreetText. You'll always find these playlists for anything that we record back in there.
Hey, Marcus, real quick, this is something for later on, but my ads got shut off again and I didn't do it. I don't know why this does this to me. Can I talk with somebody afterwards? Because I'm definitely getting organic actually leads. So that's a good thing. Yeah. But looking on my funnels and stuff, they've just disappeared again. I haven't shut them off.
Yeah, write a quick chat within your chat feature of your dashboard, and someone will get back to you and tell you what and connect you to make sure that gets resolved ASAP.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you betcha.
And the other reminder is if you're not signed up with the insider group in Facebook, you need to do that as well. It's surprising how many folks somehow miss that. And there's so much information in there that flies through there that you're missing out on a lot of stuff if you're not already part of the insider group.
Yes. The insider group is epic. What I will tell you is that it can get lost and overwhelming if you just read discussions. Be intentional when you're in there. Use the topics section. The topic section is it looks like it says topics and there's hashtags. And so all these hashtags over time, let's just say testimonials hashtag. Well, if there's 80 testimonials, I don't expect you to read all those testimonials. What I do expect from you is glean what's going on underneath the discussion of those testimonials, because all of the follow-up is talked about there, how they got and secured that listing or that appointment, right? And that goes with any one of those topics. The gold is usually in the comments. So yeah, reach out to your success guide if you need any help in pointing to the right resource, the right class, or the right webinar, or whatever it is. But what you don't ask, you won't get answers to.
Lisa, just because you're all here, you can hear Lisa's solution. You're just on the wrong ad account number. So click on ads at the right-hand corner, click the drop-down menu and move to your other ad account number. You'll see your downsizing ads there on.
I know, it's so funny. Sometimes it's just that one little click.
I was wondering, I'm like going, why, where are my ads? I'm still getting leads, but where are my ads? Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Have a great week. Hi there.
Thank you guys so much for all the info.
You're afraid you'll be